Okay, let's start with a little thought experiment. When you hear the words law enforcement, what immediately pops into your mind?
Police, usually. Flashing lights, maybe a cruiser.
Exactly. For most of us, that's the default image, right? It's kind of etched deep into our collective thinking.
It's a powerful image, and, for good reason. Police officers play a critical role.
They absolutely do, no question. But what if I told you there's this entire other group? Equally crucial, uniformed professionals working quietly, day in and day out.
Right, in pretty much every North American city and across a lot of the Western world, too.
Yeah. And they're also enforcing laws, keeping our communities livable. But they just don't always get the same spotlight, even though their impact is, well, profound.
And that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're going to unpack the vital but often misunderstood role of these unsung guardians. Municipal law enforcement officers. You'll often hear them called MLEOs.
Right, MLEOs. And this deep dive, it's based on some really fascinating excerpts from Unsung Guardians of Community Order, MLEOs Under Scrutiny. It's written by Major Red Tariq Mahmood.
A really insightful perspective.
It really is. So our mission today is basically to understand who these officers are, what unique challenges they face, and why their quiet dedication is actually the backbone of the livable communities we all want.
Yeah, prepare for some maybe surprising facts and hopefully a fresh perspective on things.
Definitely. So where do we start? What's the core difference the book highlights between, say, police and these MLEOs?
Okay, so one of the book's main points is this clear distinction in roles. Police officers, they handle criminal law, think robbery, assault, major crimes like that.
The serious stuff, the criminal code.
Exactly. MLEOs, on the other hand, they're the ones enforcing our bylaws. These are the local rules, specific to our cities and towns.
So like parking rules, noise levels, property standards.
Precisely.
Yeah.
All of those regulations designed to maintain community standards, quality of life. Where you can park, how loud your party can be, making sure your neighbor's property isn't becoming a hazard.
Gotcha. So bylaws are basically the rules that make a community function smoothly day to day, not just safe from major crime.
That's it. It's about making the community livable.
Okay, that makes sense. It's not about catching bank robbers. It's more about preventing that everyday kind of chaos that can make a neighborhood unpleasant or even unsafe in different ways.
Right. And the book really emphasizes that when an MLEO issues, say, a parking ticket or cites a property for a violation, they're applying laws passed by our own local city councils. Laws designed to ensure fairness, safety, cleanliness for everyone.
Okay, so if their role is that foundational, that important for just daily life, it raises a big question the book tackles, right? Why does their work sometimes meet with such resistance or hostility?
That is precisely the challenge Major Mahmood dives into. He points out that unlike police, MLEOs generally don't carry firearms. They don't have those broad powers of arrest under criminal law.
Right.
And this perceived lack of, let's call it ultimate authority, well, unfortunately, it can embolden some offenders to react pretty aggressively. It's a major concern.
And the book gives some pretty stark examples of this, doesn't it? It's actually quite eye-opening, even a bit unsettling.
It really is. Major Mahmood cites cases like in Toronto, an MLEO issuing a ticket was shoved right to the ground.
Wow.
Yeah. And in Vancouver, an officer checking out a noise complaint got cornered, actually had to call for police backup.
Just for a noise complaint.
Mm-hmm. And then there was Calgary. A parking enforcement officer's car was vandalized while they were just doing their job.
Jeez. So these aren't just like isolated incidents, it's a pattern.
The book argues it reflects a really troubling trend where enforcing basic community standards is met with this disproportionate anger and hostility sometimes.
Which really underscores how misunderstood their role is, doesn't it?
Absolutely. People often dismiss them, they're just ticket writers. But the author makes it crystal clear. They are so much more than that.
So what kind of range are we talking about?
Well, they're guardians of community standards across this huge range, making sure streets are clear for fire trucks and ambulances.
Critical.
Preventing illegal dumping, enforcing property maintenance so neighborhoods don't decline, managing animal control, dealing with excessive noise, protecting parks and green spaces. The list goes on.
It's a massive portfolio, really. It touches almost every aspect of just living in a town or city.
It really does.
So, the flip side of that, if MLEOs handle all these vital functions, what would our cities look like without them?
Chaos, basically. The book argues communities would devolve pretty quickly. Imagine streets clogged with abandoned cars, garbage piling up everywhere, unsafe properties dragging down whole neighborhoods.
It paints a pretty grim picture.
It does, because their work is often preventative. It's foundational to just maintaining day-to-day order.
Okay, so this brings us back to that perception gap. Why do police often get, maybe not always agreement, but a certain level of respect for their authority, while MLEOs face more resistance?
Major Mahmood attributes a lot of it to that perception of power. Police operate under criminal law. They have the authority to detain, to arrest. That carries a certain weight, makes people think twice.
Right, there's an immediate serious consequence.
Exactly. MLEOs operate within municipal regulations, and some offenders seem to wrongly assume this means the rules are less serious, or that the officers themselves can be treated with disrespect.
Which is flawed thinking, because they are law enforcement officers, just with a different jurisdiction.
Precisely. They're enforcing laws, and they fill these critical gaps that police departments often don't have the resources or, frankly, the mandate to manage constantly.
Yeah, you can't have police officers checking every parking meter or overgrown lawn.
Not realistically, no.
So, given this imbalance, the importance of the role versus the lack of respect and the dangers they face, how does the book suggest we sort of fix this? What are the solutions?
Well, Major Mahmood suggests a multi-layered approach. It's not just one thing. Firstly, public education is vital.
Making people understand the why.
Exactly. Showing that direct link between by law enforcement and a better quality of life for everyone. Maybe using before and after examples of neighborhoods improved by MLEO action. Making those benefits really tangible.
Yeah, people need to see it connects to their own lives. What else?
Visible support from city leaders is huge. Mayors, council members publicly recognizing MLEOs as essential workers, not just some kind of optional extra. Changing the narrative, really, from the top down.
Right, acknowledging their value publicly.
He also recommends things like joint operations with police, having police and MLEOs patrol together sometimes.
Oh, interesting. Why?
It sends a really strong signal that bylaws aren't just minor suggestions. They have the full backing of law enforcement, writ large. It shows a united front.
That makes sense. What about protecting the officers themselves?
That's crucial. The author strongly advocates for stronger legal protections. He argues assaulting an MLEO should carry the same penalties as assaulting a police officer.
Wow, okay. That's a significant step.
It is, along with things like clear warnings on their vehicles stating that assaulting an officer is a serious offense.
That seems like a fundamental shift, really acknowledging the real danger these officers can face just doing their jobs.
It is. And the book also touches on the benefits of body-worn cameras.
Oh, yeah. That comes up a lot these days.
For good reason. They can protect officers from false complaints, but also potentially deter aggressive behavior from the public if they know they're being recorded.
Accountability on both sides.
Right. And one more thing, more community engagement. Giving officers opportunities to interact with residents in non-enforcement settings. Community events, school visits.
Building trust before a conflict arises. Like proactive relationship building.
Exactly that. It helps humanize the officers and potentially de-escalate future encounters.
It all sounds very comprehensive. And the author, Major Mahmood, he brings his own experience to this, right?
He does. In his author's note, he speaks from firsthand experience. He's